We are Steel Magnolias, two sisters who love family, traditions, and all things Southern.
We've got plenty of room at our table, so pull up a chair.
Lainey, Bourbon 101 last time went over really well.
It sure did. We got some really great feedback. One fun story I want to share. I had said on that episode, if you have any Pappy Van Winkle, please invite me over. And I actually got an invite.
You did?
I got an invite to taste a Pappy 12-year.
Okay.
So I haven't taken him up on that just yet. My friend did have a stipulation of you need to come soon because I'm loving it.
Okay. All right.
So anyhow.
Ask and you shall receive.
I thought the exact same thing. Like, isn't that fun?
That's cool.
Put the feelers out and get some response.
I had a neighbor come up to me and say she had listened to the episode and they are big bourbon lovers in their household and they've got a Pappy 23.
Wow.
Now, I was not invited to come share.
One.
I don't think it's open, or that was sort of how I took it, but they had all kinds.
That's prized indeed.
They had different ones that, Blanton was one that she shared that I know you've had your eye out for lately.
Yep. And an E.H. Taylor.
Yep.
Which...
Tons of Heavenly Hill. I mean, she was just naming on and on.
Yeah,
so
that's fun.
I'm so glad people enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And we have a fun show today as well. We are sort of staying in the region of Kentucky lately.
True.
Definitely in today's episode, because we're going to be talking about Keeneland.
Yes.
So we're going to spend today's episode talking about the internationally renowned racecourse, Keeneland, which is the Thoroughbred industry's leading auction house as well. So it was founded in 1936, and their mission is to continually invest in the industry and to preserve the tradition of thoroughbred racing. They're located in Lexington, and they have quite the property. I mean, the grounds of Keeneland are just
so beautiful.
Superb.
Lexington is beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. To drive through Lexington on that Bluegrass Parkway is really fun. But we wanted to make sure.
Lots of beautiful horse farms in the area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woodford Reserve is right down the road from Keeneland. But we weren't sure if people knew about this property and the fact that they open the grounds up in the spring and fall for what they call their spring meet and their fall meet. So everybody knows about the Kentucky Derby, or probably knows about it, but Keeneland is a little bit more off of the radar, I'm sure.
Unless you're from Kentucky.
Exactly.
Or I went to school in Kentucky, so that was something that people sometimes would do, was go to Keeneland, and very fun thing to jump into.
So we got to go last fall, you and I did. We went in October. Every weekend in October and every weekend in April, they open the grounds for their meet. And it's open to the public. You do, you want to get your tickets in advance, especially if you are planning to sit in the grandstand, which is the only covered area. We're actually...
we sat in the grandstand last time, part of the time.
But it was cold. I mean, chilly, not cold.
Chilly,
it was
October. And you're up closer if you're in general admission. But you're standing unless you've brought seating or something. There's a few benches.
Yeah, we had really good seats because the finish line was always right in front of us. Yeah. And I don't know if you knew that when you bought the tickets.
I did.
You did?
You
saw that? Okay.
Yeah.
So... February 1st, just a few days ago, was when the tickets went on sale for the spring meet. And I think within 30 minutes to an hour, the first two Saturdays had already completely sold out of grandstand. Now, that's not to say that you can't go, because we're going to still go April 6th. But we're just going to be in the general admission, which basically means we got a cheaper ticket and we'll be bringing our own camping chair to sit in, because there is no seats.
There are few benches, but I mean very few.
Yeah, those are first come, first serve. Yeah. You could run in and claim them and camp out there if you wanted to. But we're hoping for good weather because, of course, April does bring a good amount of rain to the south. But $5, that's all we had to spend on our general admission tickets. Yeah. So that leaves us more cash to spend on frivolous things like concessions and betting.
That's right. They're hoping that the low cost will get you doing some betting.
Yeah. So the races happen April 4th through the 26th. And again, like we said, this is in Lexington, Kentucky at Keeneland. That's about 3 hours and 20 minutes or so north of Nashville. So very drivable.
Yeah.
And grandstand tickets are on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday are $10 a person. And on Saturdays, they're $20 a person. But like I said, there's probably only one Saturday left at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
For that. So,
and that's Easter weekend, the one that was still open.
True.
So that's kind of hard if you're
That's very true. Yeah.
not from the area.
Yeah.
Well, not even if you're from the South, because you probably go to church.
You probably are going to be in church. There's going to be, there's going to be activities
around. That was
around.
an assumption, but
yeah, Easter, Good Friday service, Easter service, and everything in between. So, but yeah, when we went up in October, we drove up the day of the race. We actually went on a Friday last year, and so we drove straight to the racetrack. And when we got there, gorgeous day, we were kind of bummed because we didn't realize that tailgating was such a big part of this experience.
Well, I knew tailgating was a part of it. It was just me and you, so I didn't really think that was really going to be as much fun. Just two people tailgating. But
I didn't think about that either.
I did not realize that you could have alcohol on the property at your tailgate.
Right. That's different.
I would have actually done that, even if it was just the two of us.
We could have, pre-gamed in the parking lot.
Exactly.
But that's okay, because now we know this time, and now we can share this with all of our listeners that may be planning a trip. So first and foremost, I'll get the invitation out. If you're listening to this and you want to come to Keeneland and you want to meet us there Saturday, April 6th.
Grab a general admission ticket.
Yes, Lainey and I will be there. We would love to meet up with you. We will continue to communicate that out on our Instagram page, but consider yourself invited. So one of the things that I think is important, especially for us gals that need to know, first and foremost, what to wear. This is much less dressy, and there's far less pomp and circumstance than the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, goodness, yes.
So probably more than just sort of style, you would want to dress for the occasion, which is outdoors.
Right.
So you're going to want to be weatherproofed in some boots or some layers, some rain gear,
Yeah. Layers is good because if you're in the sun, it may be one thing. If the sun goes down, you're in another.
Yeah. But I don't know what it is about horse racing, but I had never been around it. This was when we went in October, it was my first time being at a live horse race. But there is something just, I don't know, energetic about the whole atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. Even the sound of it, to me, is very thrilling.
Yes. And one of the things that I really loved, that is what sold me on it when you were telling me about Keeneland, is you have access to getting really close to the horses. Yeah. Now, you're not going to be able to pet them.
Right.
Or get that close, but you are a couple of arms length away sometimes, that kind of close.
Yeah.
And that just was special because I haven't been around equestrian life at all. And just to kind of get to see even a little bit of backstage access.
The size of these jockeys, all of that. Yeah.
It was very cool. So,
cool.
Okay, so we'll jump into a little bit more on that later, but I did want to let people know, if you want to tailgate, there are a couple of places you can do that. There's tons of paved parking, which is free until it fills up, but there's a lot of it. People tailgate there, and that's just, in close enough proximity to the gate where you can tailgate, park, set up shop. And then when the gate opens at, I think, 11, you can go straight in. There's also the Hill, which would be a shuttle ride away, but they have shuttles that run.
And there's tailgating happening up there.
I feel like that's probably a little bit more for the true party.
Yeah.
And maybe even
like the infield of Derby or something.
Yes.
Think
or
that.
Infield of steeplechase.
Yeah.
Here in Nashville. Yeah. So that may or may not be the place where everyone that's not even going inside is going to hang. I don't know.
They may not ever make it.
It's an assumption I'm making that, it kind of like there's certain pockets of tailgating in front of a Tennessee football game.
Exactly.
Where, you're kind of under the assumption that these people aren't even going to the game.
Right.
They're just here to hang, which is fine and fun, and
that's right. It's own
that's
thing.
prerogative. But there are a lot of family-friendly amenities even on the hill. Like they have food trucks, bluegrass music. There is a jumbo television that broadcasts so you can see the race. Again, if you're not actually going inside, that's good. There's even wagering options on the hill. I didn't know that. And
that's
there,
cute.
and then, like I said, there's a complimentary shuttle service that runs to and from the grandstand area, I guess is what they call that. So post time, which would be the race start time, is 1:05, like
first one,
right after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And they run about every half hour. So this is fast.
Yeah. In fact, we found that a little difficult, remember, in doing our bets. Like, I wasn't ready to figure out 10 bets.
Right.
So let's just put one on the first 2 races. And then that may make you miss race 3 when you're going back to do it again.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're fast, it's not. I felt like I was really trying to figure out my bets.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into that too.
well, let's go into it. So once inside the grandstand area, we just really, we didn't plan to do this, but we started talking to one of the really kind gentlemen in his green, hunter green blazer and fedora. And he was labeled as a betologist, which, context clues tells you he knows a lot about betting. And we just started talking to him, and we said up front, we don't know anything.
We're new at this.
We need some basics. So
were you surprised by how much we got, though? When we said we need some basics, and this brother told us the ins and outs. Like, I was getting...
Yeah, I felt like I went to school
Yes.
for it. And I felt like he said it well enough that I was able to retain it. I don't know if it's because he was holding a program, so I was able to see exactly what he was talking about. And I think they probably all do that, which there's a pro tip. Buy a program.
Buy a program and talk to a betologist if you don't know how to do this, because I just think it's fascinating.
Like, I think it was $5 for the program, but it's also a fun souvenir to go home with. And I still have my fall program here that I'm looking at even today. But, he really talked us through the entire program, what we should be looking for. So I wanted to highlight a few things
I will say,
I learned.
Don't you think that there's lots of opinions on what matters in picking your horse?
Yeah.
And if you went to 5 different betologists, they might tell you kind of 5 different things. It's their perspective.
That's true. Yeah, because I want to talk to one again when we go in April.
Sure, just to hear.
I need a refresher, and I want to hear, what this new person would say. And they're everywhere. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
So
carry on, though.
Yeah. So one of the first things he said, which I think is important to know, is the minimum amount that most wagers have is just $1.
Yeah. So don't think that you got to come like with the big bucks.
Yeah.
Like, if you do, great. They hope you do. But it's a good place to get to know how to do this.
Yeah. This is actually a very affordable road trip. It's a $5 ticket. It's $3 or 3 hours away from Nashville. I'm not sure where all our listeners are, but it's in a pretty centrally located spot for the Southeast. And if you're tailgating, you're bringing your own food, so you're not having to... Now, there are concessions, and we'll talk about that.
And by the way, you can't go in and out. Like, you can't go back to your car. Like, once you're in, you're in.
Yeah. Tailgate in the morning till about, right before
you're
wanting to go into the grandstand, and then that's it.
And then you're buying alcohol if you're continuing to partake of that inside.
Yeah.
Or they have non-alcoholic stuff, too. Just for the money part.
Right.
Just thinking through that.
But, if you've brought your own breakfast and a hearty breakfast or breakfast and lunch, that's 2 meals that you've not had to eat out. Anyway, I just think it's a very affordable road trip. Okay, the exacta box, that was a new term for me. That's when you're picking 2 horses and they have to come in first and second place, but they can be either order.
Right.
So you're just telling them the 2 horses that you think are going to come in.
Yeah.
And that has a $2 minimum because of the 2 horses. And then so on and so forth with the trifecta, meaning 3 horses, superfecta, meaning 4 horses. So that's first, second, third, and fourth place.
Yeah. So you're getting into more and more money that you could win, but also harder to harder to win.
See, I guess I thought every bet was either you're picking just the winner or you're picking first, second, and third, and you're putting them in the exact order.
Which that does exist.
It does. But I thought that was there are so many varieties on the ways that you can bet. But this betologist did tell us about a people group that you need to make sure and pay attention to, and they're called the handicappers. And they're the ones that are the experts that have watched the horses. They've studied them. They know their stats. They've even watched them that morning during their exercise routines. And you can look in your program. And also there's a Keeneland Racing app.
Yes, I had that one.
And we both downloaded that. It's free.
Yeah.
But you can see the handicappers
picks, yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to lean on somebody that's been studying?
Watching this closer than you have.
Yeah. Now, that's going to probably bring the odds down if everybody's going with just the handicappers pick. One of the things I thought was interesting, too, was with the app, it was even more real time with if a handicapper had noticed something in that morning's exercises that changed their picks. The app had that real-time information, whereas, of course, the program has been printed who knows how many days or weeks ago. So the app was very, very informative for that reason. This one was interesting to me. There was this term listed on every race called maiden.
Yes. I wasn't real familiar with this either.
So to me, a maiden meant, I don't know, female, young, I don't know. That's probably all I would have put against it. That's not
what it is.
What it means at all.
I think I said, like a maiden voyage.
First time out.
First time.
So a maiden, so it would mean these horses have never raced before. And to me, that's a much more exciting race to bet on because there's no precedent.
Yeah.
I mean, I love an overcomer.
Yes.
So if somebody's, got bad odds or hasn't proved themselves well, just in there.
And so for those, you could, there's so much that could be said, but you could look at the bloodline. That's what a lot of people's picks, they go from the bloodline. Who's the ma and pa of this horse, if you will. And what was their racing history and that kind of thing.
Gosh, and
there's so much to this.
There's so much to it. And, at the end of the day, what do people usually, not people, what do us girls like to go with?
Oh, the name.
The name.
Is it a great name? That's what I like.
I mean, there are some fantastic names out there. In fact, I don't know. I should have made a list of some of our favorite ones from the fall meet. But
that's often where I start. Like, for the Kentucky Derby or anything, I look at, here's the 20 that are racing. I love these 3 names. Now I'm going to start doing my homework.
Yes.
But I'm always kind of cheering for the ones that I like. So you
start with the name and then start.
Yeah. And then I start with
I think I do the same thing. I mean, I'm certainly not going to pick one where I don't like the name. Yeah. Even if it's got great odds. If it's a name that's just weird or...
Yeah.
I don't know. Just sounds like it's something weird. I don't know. So we had... so we learned about the maiden. We learned that some races have a claiming price.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen this because...
go ahead. And that could be a maiden race. Mm-hmm. It could, it could just be another... race. I don't know what they would call a regular race if it's not a maiden race. But if there's a
more seasoned horse, if you will.
If there's a claiming price, and again, your betologist could show you where it's listed in the program. It's in the top left corner, though, usually. That price, whether it be $15,000, $20,000 or up, is what those horses are for sale for today. That day. And there's no negotiating. I mean, you don't go with trying to haggle it down. And that horse owner has to be ready to take
that money.
the buy that day. I mean, yeah. So
I don't know what happens if there's more than one interested or something.
Yeah, I don't either.
Now, these auctions, can I just say something about the auction,
Yeah.
too? Because I think that's fascinating when they have their horse auctions.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention, and I'm sorry, I just pulled this up on my phone, so I'm just looking at it here. But Keeneland just had their largest horse price sale in January.
Oh.
A horse by the name of Abel Tasman, I hope I'm saying that right.
Okay.
A filly, a female horse, sold for $5 million.
Whoa.
So, purchased by, there's these different horse farms, right? And so this is for breeding purposes. This is not for racing horses. This horse has already raced and had shown great success, won the Kentucky Oaks in 2017.
Wow.
Has a bloodline on both sides that's really rich. And so breeders want that horse for $5 million. For $5 million, they're seeing that just as an investment of I can breed this horse.
Yep, and make it all back.
And make that and then some.
Gosh.
So, just fascinating. And Coolmore Stud is out of Ireland, but has Ashford Stud there in Lexington.
Okay.
And that's the horse farm, if you will, that bought it.
Okay.
And so, just
wow.
pretty cool that
$5 million.
And I looked the guy up. He's like a third generation, I think, horse guy. You know, his dad's still in the horse business. His grandfather was from Ireland. And I want to say the guy was like my age-ish. I just thought like, oh, just another day at the office.
My goodness.
Buying a horse for $5 million. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out because I thought that was fascinating.
That's crazy. Well, let's see. I don't know if I've got... Probably got one other thing I would mention. And again, talk to a betologist if you're interested. And I would encourage... I don't always want to encourage betting, but at least go learn about it. Even if you're not going to put any money down in it. It's just interesting. But the last thing I would mention was that I thought stood out to me. Each horse in the program or on the app, they will show the horse or the races that they have been a part of and the dates.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting. The betologist we talked to said, hey, pay attention to the last race that they were in. How recent was it?
Yeah.
You should be seeing horses that have raced maybe in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Anything that's further back than that,
something's going on.
There's a flag. Have they been injured?
Yeah.
Like what, why the gap?
Yeah.
And so, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a flag and something to
pay attention to.
Again, one of the other factors to try and measure into your bet. So,
and I want to say this, I don't mean to get heavy on it, but we're talking about betting in a fun way, not a lot of money, not putting a lot of money into this. But there is real addiction to that. I feel like we even saw some there.
We did.
Like there was people literally there wagering for more than just what was happening that day. They're wagering and watching all the TVs of other horse races going on. And I don't know, it just seemed like I was getting a snapshot
It did seem out of
that
a healthy place.
And I just didn't want to take that lightly.
No,
like if
really
you have
good.
Addiction issues, we're not saying this is the right place for you to go, but
we spent maybe $20 in our betting the day that we went. But there are signs even
about
posted
numbers to call if you have addiction.
If you're feeling like it's out of control or you need some help.
So I just wanted to say that.
That's good. I'm glad you did because we are
want this to be a
about,
fun thing, not
and we don't want it to be a place where families don't feel like they can come anymore either. Like we saw families there. Yeah. That's really up to you as far as if you feel like this is a family-friendly environment for your family. We saw some kids there. I wouldn't say that we saw a lot of kids.
Yeah.
But especially like in the general admission area.
And you can get let them see the horses, watch some of the horses racing. I think that's pretty cool to get to see.
And kids under 12 are free. So, I mean, there you go.
But anytime there's anything like this, an environment where there's a lot of, people there for the whole day and alcohol's included in some of the partaking, with that there's, cigarette smoking and things like that, kids may or may not be used to being around.
Yeah.
But it's really to me, no different than what you would see at a tailgating football
Right.
situation or something like that.
There's always going to be groups that are going to take it to the extreme.
Right.
And present difficult circumstances
Right.
for everyone.
Language gets out of hand or whatever. But
overall, it is meant to be
family friendly. Right.
So I'm not sure how to transition now that I've talked about children.
Let's talk about the Keeneland Breeze.
Keeneland Breeze.
I made a Keeneland Breeze for us today, which is something you could buy there at Keeneland's.
So good.
It's bourbon. I used Maker's Mark. I used Four Roses.
Okay, I think they usually use Maker's Mark.
They use Maker's Mark. It's Maker's Mark, typically. Orange liqueur. Mm-hmm. I even put a little fresh orange in there too, and ginger ale.
Yep,
and then garnished with an orange. So
it was so good,
very tasty,
very good. Highly recommend if you're gonna have
enjoy
a cocktail
the day.
There.
That's a fun one to do.
Do a Keeneland Breeze, and it's actually simple enough that you could make it at home, but certainly festive if you're on the grounds there. So what do you think? I'll name off a few, but if you've got any as well, what should we do this time that we didn't do last time?
So we already know we've got a few friends joining us.
Yes. So that's already better.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
And I'm hoping to even get more to come and some of our listeners to come. Mm-hmm. But I want to plan a tailgate.
Okay.
Food-wise, I think it would be fun for everybody to participate in bringing something.
Potluck style.
Yeah. But just, festive.
So let's see, the gates open at 11.
Yeah.
So you're talking tailgating between what, 9 and 11-ish?
I don't know that I necessarily even need to be in there at 11 if the first race is at 1.
I did see, because I was interested in doing a tour if it was possible, but they're sold out for I think there's a owner's tour that you can do on Saturdays. A lot of the stuff, because Saturdays are so popular, they don't do the extra tours and this and that. So
I was hoping to tour a horse farm, and they don't do them on Saturdays. And this is not even a time really when there's much horse farm touring going on.
Okay.
It may be because they're breeding. That's
true.
Maybe what it is. I don't know. But
I did see at 11:30 at what they call Wagering Central. They do a little Today at Keeneland talk, and I think it's sort of their shortened version of some of the information you get on tours. It's 30 minutes.
Okay.
So from 11:30 to 12, you could learn a little bit about that from.
So I don't know. I may want to get in that early.
Yeah.
But I haven't thought this all the way through. We just got the tickets, but
I know we're excited.
We're excited. People were doing all kinds. You saw people with cornhole and different things like that prepared. I think it would be fun to. It depends on who's there and all of that. I'm hoping to meet up with a couple college friends that or
Kentucky
girls and such as that. So we'll see, but definitely have a food spread and alcohol spread and
ham sliders. I want to bring.
Those are tasty, but I love my Kentucky hot brown slider too.
That's that's
very Derby, not Keeneland, but still, maybe I'll make them. I usually make those in May. We'll make them in.
Just do a big batch and freeze part of them.
That's brilliant.
So you've already got them done for May.
Yeah, so stuff like that. We'll have a fun little, and we'll tell people maybe with pictures on Instagram or something what we end up doing. Okay. So follow us on Instagram if you want to see what we end up doing.
Yeah, we'll have to plan ahead because we'll be traveling with it. So
do y'all have cornhole?
Yes, we do.
We might want to stick that in the car. Now people are doing these big Jengas and all that. I don't know what the next hot thing is, but
cornhole is good to pass time. It's just such an easy setup. And yeah.
And I hope we make some friends, there, because that was one thing I felt like I was seeing when we came in.
I know everybody already knew each other, didn't they?
Everybody seemed like they were interacting, and I would think just like with football.
Yeah.
Whoever you're tailgating next to, you start chatting with. So,
except it's a little different, I guess, than even football because nobody's wearing, there's not like a team.
That's true.
You're
that's
not pitted against
anything.
each other or automatically united.
Bonded.
It's like we're
This
all
is
here
very
for the
true.
love of horses.
Well, we may have to have on a Steel Magnolias something or other.
There you
so
go.
that we can make conversation
We
about
should.
our podcast.
Well, one thing I do want to leave room for when I get inside the grandstand is bread pudding.
Yes. We, I think, just got so busy with all the taking it all in, we didn't ever try this.
We saw it. It was there.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We got to doing other things. We went in the gift shop and we got to looking at other horses and we just lost track of time, I guess, and we never got back to the bread pudding.
Again, so.
But this time, I'm
on.
getting me some bread pudding because it looked good. I saw
And there
it.
is, I've had good bread pudding and not so good bread pudding. Good bread pudding is wonderful.
Yeah. And especially if it's kind of chilly out. Yeah.
That's
What do you think, what would you say about saving room for, is it pronounced burgoo?
burgoo.
Burgoo, yeah.
That's not my favorite. I'm not a big lover of stew, but that is a huge popular thing in Kentucky.
Okay. That's going to be like on several, I meant to say this earlier. There are several places to eat
There.
within the grandstand area. Some require reservations and are more business casual or even business formal dress.
Right.
And some are as basic as what you would consider a concession stand.
Right.
We're talking hot
Those
dogs.
dining rooms, you're paying to be in there, and that's often where you're watching the race.
Yes.
And to me, that's not as much fun.
No.
That's just me.
I want to be out there and hear the applause
thunder
or hear
of
the,
those hooves and all of that.
Yeah.
But for some people, they like you are enclosed, so no matter what the weather,
It's true.
you're in a contained temperature.
Yeah.
But I kind of like being out there.
But if you're one that wants to always try the, what this place is known for, sort of menu items,
burgoo,
that would
bread
be
pudding
one
or two,
to
and the
try.
Keeneland
And the
breeze
Keeneland
are all
breeze.
things that they are known for.
And then I think I'm just going to bet wiser this next time. I learned a couple of things that I'll be applying to the next go around. I probably won't be spending anymore.
Yeah.
I'm still very conservative in that, but I think you do
It would
learn.
almost be fun to have a group that's like, okay, I'm only going to go on Bloodline. Okay. And then somebody else is like, I'm going by name. And then I'm going by, like, that would
And
be kind of a
see
fun,
how they panned
and
out.
see who ends up the winner.
That's very interesting.
I don't know.
Okay.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. So we mentioned make sure and get a program, make sure and download the app, make sure and give yourself time to tailgate if you want. Definitely make sure and walk around close to where the jockeys are just walking around.
They're kind of walking the horse before they jump on so you can see them.
Yeah. So I guess there's something to the circular pattern. Probably should have known more about that having been there, but they were always walking them around
I
a
think
tree.
that's just so you could see all the way around what this horse's physique is and all of that.
Okay.
Like you're getting a good look at it.
Yeah. And people were running to the wagering central and wagering stations.
Right at the last
Right
minute.
after seeing that. They're like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I'm like, I don't know what you know. I don't know what you just saw that made you know something, but go for it.
I kind of watch, I've told you this with the Derby because I'm watching it on TV. I like to watch as they're bringing them in who looks like they're raring to go. Yeah. Because there is something about that to me.
That's true.
Just seeing those are really, those thoroughbreds are really race. Yes. They know what they're doing.
They do.
I'm sure all these horses know what they're doing, but anyhow, fun.
I just cannot enough put my stamp of recommendation on going to either the fall or spring meet at Keeneland. So I had a great experience in October.
That was your birthday celebration from me, so we may have to make it an annual affair.
I had a great time. I thought it was a great trip and looking forward to doing it again and with more friends this time.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be good. Come on out and join us, y'all.
Come join us. So, do you want to do...
I wanted to talk a little bit about some upcoming shows for Rob Ikes and Trey Hensley, who do our intro music. Great pickers, and there's some fun shows coming up in some areas of the South. Right here in Nashville, Tennessee, on February the 14th, which is, I know is Valentine's Day, but they've got a 9 p.m. show at the Station Inn.
Okay.
And then on February 16th, which is a Saturday, they're going to be playing The Down Home in Johnson City.
Okay.
So if you're in that area of Tennessee,
that just feels like that would be a good venue.
Home.
I don't know anything about it. I know what Johnson City's like, and I like the name of
Isn't that great?
So.
And then on February 17th, which is the next night on a Sunday, they're going to be playing with Wayne Henderson and Presley Barker at Muddy Creek Music Hall in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Another great name.
So there you go. We got
Awesome.
Station Inn, the Down Home, and Muddy Creek Music Hall, all going to be blessed with Rob Ikes and Trey Hensley.
That's
so
cool.
Get out and check them out if you can.
And enlarge your cultural experience with some picking.
Yeah, some really good picking. I saw some videos of them playing at a Taylor guitar kind of expo thing, and they were getting great reviews and such. So really, they're good.
That's cool. I'm
good
anxious
picking.
to see them very soon. We wanted to end with some Southern expressions because we had
thought that was fun.
We had good feedback on that. In fact, if you haven't yet, take a moment to go over to our Facebook group page, and we had a fun little discussion on Southern expressions last week, and we'll be continuing to ask questions and get discussion over on the Steel Magnolias podcast group page. But Lainey, what was your expression?
I've got so many that run through my head.
So many.
But I just thought the appropriate one to share for today, and I don't know if this is necessarily Southern. This might be all over the place kind of a thing, but hold your horses.
Oh, that was appropriate for today. Yeah.
Yeah, so, if you've ever watched a gate open in a horse race, it's pretty phenomenal because they can't wait to get out. And because they know they're racing. So just the visual of that. Hey, hold your horses. We're going to get, because once that gate opens, it's gone. They're out. So that's mine
funny.
for the day.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone try to hold horses, but that makes sense. This one, I'm still laughing just reading it.
You haven't even said it yet.
I know. I'm as busy as a one-legged cat in a sandbox.
That's kind of terrible, kind of hilarious.
So anyway, that's
awesome.
one busy
now,
person.
I've heard busy as a one-armed paper hanger. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, my old boss used to say that all the time.
But this is a visual that's pretty funny.
Busy as a one-legged cat in a sandbox.
Oh.
Well, with that, we will bid you adieu, wish you a well week, and again, if you haven't gotten your tickets and are interested in joining us at Keeneland, jump on their website and grab one of those general admission seats for April 6th. This one will be there.
We'll see you there.
All right, cheers.